Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vegas Hockey Hub Shorts here on PRConnectionRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. Now, here normally on Vegas Hockey Hub, we focus on the Vegas Golden Knights, Henderson Silver Knights, UNLV Rebels hockey. But these short videos are mainly meant to spotlight the rest of the NHL, to talk about teams that we don't normally talk about here on this show. And on this short video, we're going to talk about the newest expansion team in the NHL and really the feel-good story of the NHL this year, and that is the Seattle Kraken. And really propose a question. Are the Seattle Kraken legit? Will the Seattle Kraken be a legit playoff contender once the Stanley Cup playoffs start? Now, to give you some context, year one of the Seattle Kraken, first year under the expansion team, the Seattle Kraken were terrible. They were one of the worst teams in the NHL. As a matter of fact, they were kind of standard as opposed to most modern NHL expansion teams. The only exception, of course, being our Vegas Golden Knights. So Seattle Kraken had a disappointing year one, but year two has been a complete 180 due to the addition of guys like Justin Schultz on the defensive end, bringing up Matty Beniers, their 2021 first-round pick, who has now become their superstar and an all-star in Seattle, has been a solid move for them. In goaltending, them having two veteran goalies in Martin Jones and Philip Grubauer. I mean, this is a situation where the Seattle Kraken, from year one transitioning to year two, has definitely made some big strides in Seattle. Also, you have to give credit where credit is due to general manager Ron Francis. Ron Francis built this team with a purpose. And the purpose was that year one, they were going to not be great. Year one was going to be some roadblocks. You had to have some tough transition periods. But what the Seattle Kraken, what Ron Francis really did is that he was going to build in the future, right? That's what Ron Francis's plan was. Ron Francis had a goal in mind, and that was to take this team and build it, with stepping blocks, kind of like a ladder. You go up one by one by one. And I truly believe that's what Ron Francis has done this season. That the Seattle Kraken, their head coach, the former Philadelphia Flyers coach, he has been a solid person that they brought in that was really a good move for Seattle. If I have to give any credit also, I'm going to say players like Jordan Eberle, who is an alternate captain for this team. He has been a good veteran piece that they got during the expansion draft. When they signed some players in free agency, I will say Jaden Schwartz and Andre Barkowski were two players that they signed in free agency that has been a huge deal in terms of the turnaround of the Seattle Kraken and making them a playoff team into year two. So regardless if it was in year one when they signed them or if it was in year two when they signed them, the Seattle Kraken have been smart with their free agency, have been good in the draft with Matty Beniers and Shane Wright. And then when it came to the expansion draft 18 months ago, I will give credit. They made some solid moves in the expansion draft, bringing over a 20-goal scorer in Jared McCann from the Toronto Maple Leafs was a fantastic move in hindsight. I also have to give credit to Yanni Gourde, who they've had on their bottom six. He has had over 30 points since coming over to Seattle. And in their expansion draft, their top line on defense in Vince Dunn and Adam Larson both came from the expansion draft. So putting all of that together and considering that they are third in the Pacific Division, fifth in the Western Conference, do I believe the Seattle Kraken are legit? Absolutely. Do I believe the Seattle Kraken are going to be a playoff team in 2022, 2023? Absolutely, yes, 100%. And I also believe the Seattle Kraken could even make it to the second round in the Western Conference, depending on who they face in the first round. So this was another edition of Vegas Hockey Hub Shorts. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media.